Well, hey friends, how about a new moon reading? We have a new moon in Leo on the 28th and lots of heart energy out there. But let's see what the tarot wants us to know and do. Consider for this new phase of the moon. It is my usual Thursday practice to do some readings, and this is collective reading weekend and whatever I want to do weekend. If you ever have something you would like me to do, just put it in the comments under a reading you have watched. I would love to know what people want to know about, if I can do it. Okay, we're going to start with the good tarot. Pull an overarching energy of the High Priestess. Beautiful, very moon mystery energy. We can see that this is a card really about intuitive knowledge and the empathic psychic connections, but also can be about secrets. All right, I love the High Priestess. What is going on underneath? The Queen of Air, that is it. Queen of Air underneath. Clarity, intelligence, intellect, and knowing what to cut away. Living with certainty about what belongs and what doesn't belong. So we've got like this beautiful blue-green energy right now for this new moon in Leo. So we're expecting a little fire, but we've got this coolness and this mystery. There's a lot happening in the air in our coming to understand and secrets being revealed right now from what I gather from listening to astrologers. So maybe that's what's going on here. All right, so we'll do a little reading here. Just gonna get started in the cards. I'm gonna ask, as we set an intention for a new moon cycle. And what's happening when the moon goes dark is that it's right there with the sun. And the sun and the moon are at 5 degrees Leo. I'm seeing the Queen of Swords popping out here again. In front of the moon here, this beautiful owl carrying the sword of truth. So, and then there is the King of Wands here on the split. So that's that Leo energy. The other thing that's happening right now, or with the new moon on the 28th of July here, is that we have Uranus and Mars and the North Node all coming together to meet up in Taurus. So we'll probably see some of that energy here. And then there is an opposition between Saturn and Mercury. Saturn being in Aquarius and Mercury being over there in Scorpio. Is that right? No. The opposite of Aquarius is Leo. Okay. Well, check my work on that one. I guess I didn't pay that much attention to that. But I know Saturn's in Aquarius and that Leo is opposite. So that's where Mercury is. Okay, we're going to ask what to embrace, what to release, what to embrace, what is hidden. I feel like I want to ask a question about what to begin and the future. All right, so that's 5 cards. So the first card, what to release. Some kind of ending the world. Beautiful. Endings always are followed by beginnings, but this is the end of a major cycle here. In your life, you would know what that is. That's probably why the Queen of Air is coming up here with that. She has a good way of ending things. She's not going to go back to things that she ends. That's how I think of her. But let's find out more. We'll clarify. What to embrace? Some kind of ascension, judgment. You can see the snake has shed her skin and is rising really to the next stage of the game of life. And in the order of the major arcana, judgment comes before the world. So if you're releasing some kind of an ending, what the reason it's ended is that you've risen to the next level. You're beginning anew. So there's a bit of fool's energy that is implied here, even though these are cards of somebody who has matured and finished a major cycle. Okay, what is hidden that the tarot wants you to know? Lovely, a Four of Wands, community, fire. There's your fire energy. This is the person that you get to be yourself with, your authentic self with. To me, the Four of Wands has to do with authenticity because there's a very stable four legs of the table. Things are up on the surface. We see these happy little birds. If I looked in the book, I could find out what kind of birds these are. Maybe you know. But they're just enjoying each other's company under the moon. So this can be a party, a connection. It's one of the love cards in the tarot. As I was shuffling, I saw the Two of Cups repeatedly. Don't know if that energy will come up here, but that is related to that energy. All right. What we want to initiate here with the new moon. Queen of Wands. This is the queen of the law of attraction. So if you have something that you want to be manifesting, get your sexy self in there and manifest it. Queen of Wands, she is perhaps a person that you want to bring into your life, a sense of yourself in the world as powerful and able to make the world that you want to live in. It's beautiful sunflowers here in Flagstaff, Arizona. We get the sunflowers coming in right now this time of year because of the monsoons. This is a very Leo season card here. And if you live somewhere where sunflowers bloom, there you go. And I'm seeing a shift on the table. There's a lot of these pink flowers of spring. So if there's something that you felt ended this spring, yeah, all these other cards have the same pink flowers here. So this is a shift seasonally on the table into summery sunflower energy. And there's also here the new moon. So there's your what to initiate. And we'll find out more because I will clarify all of these. And the future, a King of Pentacles. Security, an earthiness, abundance, a person who represents these qualities. This is a very, this little bull always reminds me of my pooch saying, I'm ready to go for a walk. And I noticed we can see the pink and the sunflower. So there's like a combination of, in this deck, this lily flower is associated with the Two of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the emotional. So there's a sweetness here in the future. So let's find out more about all of this. What's going on underneath? What's on the bottom of the surface of the reading? Oh, so there's just one little sense that there may be a feeling of a little bit of creative chaos, competition, frustration. Have you been feeling frustrated here? In the Five of Wands, this little beaver probably shouldn't be trying to build a dam over this rapids. Like a very stubborn little beaver is what I always think when I see this one. Frustrated but stubborn. So, yeah, so beautiful energy on the table here. And I'm just kind of curious about how this is going to come together with the High Priestess and the Queen of Air, because these cards that I just pulled from the Guardian of the Night tarot deck are really up on the surface. They're really known energies. The secret, the thing that you don't know that the tarot wants you to know, is this connection And that's what Leo-hearted, the season of the heart that we're in here, is it can be very fiery, very romantic energy. There is a Jupiter is in Sag, so we've got lots of fire energy out there in the heavens for this new moon. But so this reader I was listening to was talking about there being a grand trine, which is when you have a planet in all three of the fire signs, and so it makes a triangle. I have a grand trine in my chart, which showed up when I got this necklace. It has my chart on it, and I hadn't realized that I have something in my birth chart in all of the fire signs. So check out your chart. Looking for fire here. Let's see what happens when we clarify. I don't really know what's going on. It just looks beautiful and good, and even the little bit of frustration that can come with the Five of Wands. Well, I always just think the Five of Wands is a very fun energy. This beaver looks pissed and annoyed, and to me, when I look at fives, I've learned they are passageways. They're opportunities to be like, okay, that's not working. I'm going to do the other thing. So maybe the beaver needs a vacation. That's what your cards look like. You finish something and you're embracing this next stage, which looks mature and passionate and stable and abundant. So it's a very beautiful spread here. But let's clarify. There's always things that come out on clarification that connect all of this. High Priestess, Queen of Air, which are not bad energies. They're just intellectual and spiritual. So here we go. The world. We're going to clarify what you're releasing, this beautiful conclusion, this ending, and the beginning. So gorgeous, the Star, card of wish fulfillment, healing. Three of Voices. There has been a broken heart. Really tough card here. Pain. Mind and heart out of alignment. You can see how painful and bleak this is. This doorway is such an interesting feeling of being locked out. This desolate landscape on Mars kind of looks like. And let me pull one more card. Then a Six of Materials. Really beautiful reciprocal balancing energy of generosity and ability to receive. And there's like magic in this between these two people. I love this version of the Six of Pentacles for its mirroring. So often a Six of Pentacles is about hierarchical giving. One has wealth, the other doesn't. This is, we're just, this beautiful rose seems to arise out of the energy of this connection here. Okay. Well, what I immediately see is the way that this pain has been healed here through the Star. She has divinely supported some kind of healing. Your mind and your heart are in better sync. We can see all of this beautiful abundance coming out of the reciprocal energy of her heart, which I've never actually noticed. I'm always focusing on her head. So that's lovely. There's reciprocity here as a result of whatever you have just completed. There's a sense of balance. It isn't that you don't feel pain, it's just that you're right with it. It's like a kind of surrender, and it hasn't been easy, and it seems dynamic. Like it seems like it might come and go. That you move from the Star, really healthy balance between mind and heart, and then the really uncomfortable 3 of voices or 3 of swords experience. It's very dynamic, but you've worked really hard to have the ability to shift from pain into acceptance, wish fulfillment, and healing. It looks like you've done something to heal, and it looks like you've had help. So that's what the 6 of materials suggests to me. Like, even maybe somebody said, oh, that happened to me too, and then it helped you feel normal about whatever happened to you. So that would, to me, that, because we see the world here coming with the full moon, to me this is suggesting that what you just did in the last lunar cycle, or some cycle, world's major arcana, so it could be like a long time that it took you to do this work. It's now done, it's complete, and you can release that. That's what you're advised to do here. Let it go, let it be. The be here, let it be, comes in my head. And then there's just something really magical. And I read a really cool definition of magic somewhere recently, and I wish I could remember where I read it, but it's not a totally new concept. But the idea of magic, that when you change your mind, you can change the world. And I definitely think the tarot is a part of that kind of magic, because what it causes us to do is it causes us to, like, this card comes up and you have to deal with it. In our everyday conversation, we may be inclined not to mention a 3 of voices. It would be rude for me to bring up your pain. Like, that's a deep, very private struggle. But the tarot doesn't have those kinds of manners. It brings it up. It causes you to look at it and to accept, right, the passageway, like, of a 5 of wands here. Like, this way of obsessing is not working, therefore what will work? How can I change what I'm doing so that I'm not so uncomfortable? Okay, so now what we are supposed to embrace here with this new moon in Leo is judgment, ascension. Let's see what that's about. Apparently I can eliminate headaches for life, according to my email. I've been having headaches. Okay. So here's the Hanged Muse. There's going to be some waiting around here until you understand things in a new way. I'm seeing a lot of this really, there's something really dynamic. I see maybe this Leo energy here. It's like in the Hanged Muse here, there's that pyramid with the eye, that kind of sense of knowing and of understanding. It's wisdom. And the sun in the tarot is the happiest card in the deck. Definitely about wish fulfillment, joy. I think of it as a card of authenticity. And this is implied here in the Hanged Muse, that the hanging upside down causes you to see things in a new way. So if you feel stuck in this ascension process that you're in, there must be something that you need to look at in a new way that you haven't looked at yet. Okay, let's see what else. The Queen of Materials. The Security Queen. She's a little confrontational in this deck. Sand Tarot always sort of talks about this particular Queen of Materials as like somebody holding you accountable. She's the match for this fellow who's in the future. I call her the Security Queen. I think of her as being, of the queens, the one most inclined to stay in relationship and to seek relationship as a means of, for very practical reasons. She's also the Earth Queen, that Taurus energy. Let's see, what else? Four of Voices. There's more healing. You in the bathtub, in your retreat, getting right with your mind. It's the card that follows that painful Three of Voices that we saw. So that's here. Yeah, you are not the Queen of Materials. You are getting a new look at her from your Hanged Muse perspective. It would appear that there's somebody that has come into your life like a teacher type. And by teacher, I mean somebody that kind of brings up hard stuff. You know, they might really irritate you, actually. And if you think of them as a teacher, that they're bugging you because you have something that you can learn from them, that gives you can have that Hanged Muse change of perspective. It's like, this person really gets under my skin. Then you can move on from that through a process of surrender. This looks a lot like surrender to me, where you change your mind. Here in both the Hanged Muse and the Four of Voices are changing your mind cards. So think about this person. They're very difficult. They annoy you. You obsess about them maybe a little bit. I think you felt hurt by them in the past. Like it's that person. And you've come pretty far in coming to terms with their place in your life, but there's more that you can see here. That's this person that put you in this Three of Voices. Like, I'm going to say it's the person that bugs you. That you might not be willing to admit that when they're bugging you, they're obsessing you. They're renting space in your head for free. And you're doing all of this work to keep them, to have this be productive and healing. And so then we get into this, like there's still more perspective shift possible that you can have on this annoying person. She's in your face, right? So that's what you embrace right now. You still have more to learn about whoever this is. It could be like someone you know in your life. It could be someone out in your neighborhood. It could be an ex-president, current president. It could be, politician, superstar. It doesn't matter. It's somebody that gets in your head. And they're here to teach you something so that you can shed your old skin and ascend into this beautiful next level. I'm going to say we don't really know where you're going because the High Priestess is here. But this is definitely a reading about changing your mind and getting clarity. Okay. Don't know where you're going. The tarot says what you don't know is really beautiful. Four of Wands. So let's find out about that. There's the Priestess again. This is exactly to affirm what I just said. This is what you don't know. You may intuitively know. You may be connecting to this person intuitively in your dreams. You have that. I feel that. There's somebody who comes into my dreams sometimes. Or maybe somebody's. Sometimes it feels like I'm being watched, and I wake up in the night and it feels like the cosmos, like the stars. And when I accepted that and I trusted that they're observing me in my sleep when I'm so vulnerable was a loving net. I was able to release what was really a nightmare feeling. I would feel too naked and too vulnerable when I woke up from this dream every night, and it's changed over the years with my perspective. So thinking about not this Queen of Materials. Queen of Materials is in your real life. She's the teacher, right? The annoying one that's teaching you something. I know that I happen to be that annoying person in somebody's life. For no reason, she just acts weird around me, and I can tell, like, she's also tends to want to be around me. She'll come back around and then she'll get pissed, and I just have to be like, that's not my stuff. No, I don't know what's going on or what happens. And then that person ends up kind of being the one that I will fix on, and because it's really weird that it's really rare for somebody to just ice me out. So usually people just find me really easy to be around, and so it's like, what the heck did I do? And so then I can get kind of obsessive about that, because the one person that doesn't like me, what's wrong with them? And then that's really about me actually trusting and standing with myself. So this priestess, this one that's coming to you, and you know intuitively who this is. If you think about it, you know who I mean. Let's find out more about this. So 9 of emotions. This is wish fulfillment. Again, individual emotional fulfillment. Got lots of that here with the star and the 9 of emotions. There is a 5 of materials. Feeling of abandonment, being left out. In fact, remember I told you a 5 is a passageway. This one, who's trapped in her mind, feeling impoverished, because this is the materials, so this is pentacles. This is about things, reality, the 3D world. She feels like she's a pauper. This is, again, change your mind. See, you can go into this golden place. You just have to turn around and see your way into that. But what I'm actually seeing in this card is this dream state that I was referring to here with this priestess, this 4 of Wands that the tarot wants you to know. Know what you already know. High Priestess says you already know this. Trust your intuition. This is somebody coming to you, not in the physical 3D material world. He comes to you, or he comes to you, or they come to you when you're sleeping. It's like this person reaching for you while you sleep. And so I see you dreaming here, and there's some kind of connection that is really beautiful and full of joy and authenticity that is available to you intuitively across time and space. It may be happening when you're unconscious and when you're dreaming. It's kind of a magical space. Maybe when you're meditating, right? Because we see her sitting like in the posture of meditation. So if you do these things, or you meditate, and you one practice that I've been introduced to is a shamanic journeying practice, and you sit and you ground and you open a door with a guide, and you walk through that door into this other world. And there's all kinds of amazing things that happen there, and I'm such a novice at this, but what's clear to me is when I go there, I'm healing, and I'm looking at different parts of my consciousness, and I'm just like, one day I had like a really powerful journey where I confronted my fear of commitment, and I was supported by other magical beings there. So there's something in the not in your real life that is accessible through that kind of dreamy, meditative, storytelling state. You know what that is. It will be specific to you. Or if you don't have a practice like that, maybe pay attention to your dreams or consider such a practice. Is this crooked? That doesn't matter. I hope not. Sorry if it is and it bugs you. So what you're supposed to begin here with this new moon is this Queen of Wands. This represents something that you ought to initiate now. And so we had the world, so that's an ending. So it's a good time to whatever you completed at this full moon here recently to now fill that void. And in the night, when there's a new moon, the moon is with the sun in the day somewhere else around the world. So you're looking up at a moonless night, and there is a void there, right? So we can fill that in with a manifestation, and it looks like your capacity to do that is quite powerful right here. But let's see. What is this Queen of Wands manifesting? Well, there she is. 9 of Voices. Now, this card is about insomnia and anxiety, but I don't actually see her right now. I see her doing that magic that I talked about, where you can change the world by changing your mind. I see the meditation practice, whatever that is for you, the dreaming, and I see you connecting really powerfully in that way. So reiterates what I just suggested. If you don't already have a practice of noting your dreams or meditation or something like that, Tarot says it's time to initiate that in your life. What else does it say? We get the Queen of Inspiration again, right? And you can see how this kind of beautiful eyes closed, light coming in. This is a darker space, so this suggests perhaps that you have some resistance or anxiety around this. And this is you in your pure Queen of Wands state, able to do this. You can see her beautiful cat with her here. In this version, it's the same card. We have a little black crow because she is a cat. So we're seeing you begin this practice that helps you with this world making. And we're all this magic idea, this concept of making the world by changing our minds, or of changing the world by changing our minds. Like, let's just try that, right? So you can, and one thing I encountered in my journeying was that there is a place that I can go to, which is so clearly totally like a supernova end of the world. It's like I traveled across stars. I saw the end of a planet. My guide, my teacher, not my guide, the human who is my teacher, said, "Don't go there, Heather. That is a place to avoid." And I think she's right. And what she taught me is I can have the discipline to not go towards the fear, the apocalypse, the negative, that I can instead go toward this kind of sun-filled, again, the happiest card in the tarot, energy that Leo makes so accessible to us this time of summer. So out of anxiety into power, and then we get the Muse of Emotions, a King of Cups here. Beautiful, emotional, outflowing from the heart. That's the same energy, this color here that we see here. Though the Muse of Emotions is a King of Cups, and this is a person who is emotionally mature, is a good listener. They're quiet about what they're feeling, although they have arrived at maturity emotionally. But they are caretakers of their kingdom. So the Muse of Emotions is, I love the kings in tarot. I mean, there is like, the King of Wands is quite alpha energy, and then our future guy here, the King of Pentacles, also very yeah, it's a very alpha security kind of rich guy energy, but the King of Cups, or the Muse of Emotions, as we see them here, and then also the King of Swords. They're both heart kings, and they're very gentle. And certainly we see the gentleness here of this King of Pentacles. All right. So there's a lot of power that you are being inspired to initiate. It looks like, I'm looking at this, to me, the Muse of Emotions is telling us about the world that you're manifesting as this Queen of Wands that we see here twice under what you're being suggested to initiate. Is this beautiful energy? And the wands are fire, Leo energy, they're willpower, right? So, but this is a very beautiful way of exerting your will through what we've been seeing here. The Queen of the High Priestess being here. Let me go to the future, and then I feel like there's a whole narrative here that we can tell with all of this together. And I'll come back to that. And if we have more questions, I have another deck. Okay, so the future. King of Pentacles, this gorgeous cow here. The bringing together of the pink flowers and the sunflowers and then the lilies, which are this Muse of Emotions energy, the heart, the cups. Okay. Let's see. Page of Inspiration. A young, wild, creative. There's the Black Kitty of the Wands, the Queen of Wands. The Black Kitty is here. The outside viewpoint. Let me pull some more here. Awakening. This is, we get this card. Beautiful, coming from her heart. It's this card. This is your embrace. It's appearing here again. And 10 of Emotions. Really important sense of emotional community, of making magic together. That's what this card is about for me. And this is so beautiful. This is how it's looking on the table, right? So we can see the King of Pentacles is the world that you are manifesting. So, and it's a beautiful world. It combines the youthful creativity of the Page of Inspirations. It's a foreign energy. It's a queer energy. It's somebody that's outside of what is the structures that are. And then there's this ascension, the awakening of judgment. This wisdom of the heart here. Very much the way that this Queen of Air comes in as very lovely lady. She's wise. She's wise, but she's kind. She's she has this warmth to her. Although I always think of an actress who played a very crazy person when I see that, Glenn Close. But she's a lovely, warm woman, the actress Glenn Close. So yeah, in the future, what I see is like kind of, this cat's very sci-fi. You can see the cat's like wow, wow, has like the little white wisdom sci-fi halo around her. And then this little queer kid makes me think of all the young people with their hair, all their great hair colors, and not everybody's super young, but it's a youthful, magical, creative energy. Oh, I never noticed this, but there's actually 2 cats here. So you can see this kitty as well. It seems important. There's a companionship in this reading. Yeah, and in a way like this gets reiterated in a number of ways. You have a companion, my friend, and they're very much like you. They work in the same energy, and there's a lot of mirroring. This deck in general is full of mirroring imagery, but that's also coming up here in your cards as this relationship. There's somebody else that you get to do this with. And it looking like on this intuitive 5D realm, yeah, there's also community here. There's two cats, you and your other cat, the other cat, right? Two of these black kitties. There's you working on your own, and then there's you working with a larger community here in the future. So this is a part of the future is beyond the two of you. So I see that this story is about something that really hurt, that you've transformed, that you're now still in the process of transforming. You're getting that hanged muse. You're still looking at that person that hurt you, that queen of materials, and there's more to understand, and that's why you keep thinking about them, right? As soon as you're done learning that lesson, you'll quit being obsessive about it. They may still be your friend, but you're just gonna be calm about it. You're still not calm. I mean, even when you're taking a bath, right? You're thinking about, you're trying to heal and revise and calm and organize your thoughts. Because this is what happened. This is how it hurt badly. They hurt you unintentionally, because I was thinking about, I don't know how I have upset this person in my life, but I definitely upset them. And so this person may have unintentionally made you really uncomfortable and aroused your discomfort, your annoyance, whatever. So as you embrace the process, is not over of coming to terms with whatever that is. It will change. You will get free of that old skin and rise and go on in your life. And when you do, you also get to be doing right now, as you do that, you also get to be connecting in your dreams with this new person, right? This is what you are initiating, is a new connection. Now, this could be you with you. It's somebody who's very like you. They are somebody who believes in this kind of stuff, that there's this, you're emotionally matched. You're fiery, you're passionate, you're sexy. This is what the hero wants you to know. This is your person. You connect with them in your dreams, when you meditate, when you're doing this kind of journeying. And you're supposed to initiate and build this connection right now. And then in the process of doing that, what you're doing is what the Queen of Wands has the power to do, which is to manifest the world that she wants to live in. And so I told you that about the red place in my shamanic journeying. There are other places to go to in this kind of journeying. There are many other places. There's a place that many talk about, which is this new earth. It is whatever. It's the world that you want to make, right? And when you put your focus there, theoretically, you begin to see it. You begin to see that it already exists. And that's how manifesting can work. And what you're seeing is this whole law of attraction thing is it troubles me. But I understand that you can believe that something already is. In yoga they call it, or my teacher calls it, the sankalpa. And you might say this, I am loved, would be that kind of thing. I am already loved, and I'm full of gratitude that I am loved. So I am living on a healthy planet that has changed me and has changed my relationship with it, and has changed everybody's relationship with it, so that we are making magic together. We're making a beautiful, healthy world together. So that I see this huge, beautiful journey that is about your mind, right? So we saw that at the outset. You're changing your mind. You're following your intuitive knowing. You're very wise. And one thing that's happened to me that I wanted, that I just got it out, and I'm like, well, I'll share it if it makes sense, and it does make sense, and I'll share it at the end here. So that is your tarot reading, and this relates to your tarot reading for me. There's just a beautiful excerpt from an essay in this beautiful collection on kinship. And this is the first volume, Planet, and it comes out from the Center for Humans and Nature. You can see that there. And this is an essay by, of all people, it appears to be like a white dude named David Abram. And the essay is called Wild Ethics and Participatory Science, Thinking Between the Body and the Breathing Earth. And he talks about various migrations and what we can learn from them. And so this has been, reading this and having it make sense to me is an example of the process that I think these cards lead us through, which is a process of seeing things in a way that we never saw them before, and then understanding what is. And it's magic. That is what magic is. So here is an example. Think again of the salmon, this gift born of the rocky gravels and melting glaciers, nurtured by colossal cedars and by tumbled trunks decked with moss, fungi, and ferns. An aquatic, muscled energy, strengthening itself in the forested mountains until it's ready to be released into the broad ocean. Pouring seaward, it adds itself to that voluminous cauldron of currents spiraling in huge gyres, shaded by algal blooms and charged by faint glissandos of whale song, until, grown large with the sea's abundance, this ocean-infused life flows back up the rivers and tributaries and spreads out into the wooded valleys, gifting the hollows and the needled highlands with new minerals and nutrients, feeding bears and ospreys and eagles, ensuring that the glinting gift will be reborn afresh from a lump of luminous eggs stashed beneath a layer of pebbles. This circulation, this systole and diastole, is one of the surest signs that Earth is alive. A rhythmic pulse of silvery, glacier-fed brilliance, salmon, poured through multiple arteries into the wide body of the ocean, circulating and growing there, only to return by various veins to the beating heart of the forest, gravid with new life. Or perhaps it's better to think of this seasonal reciprocity as a kind of breathing, as an exhalation of millions of young salmon smolts down from the tree-thick mountains and meadows, and then out into that roiling cosmos of currents and tidal flows to mingle with zooplankton and seals and squids, and then the great in-breath, the drawing in of living nourishment from the sea into river mouths and estuaries, inhaling the salmon up the rivers into streams, and from there into the branching becks, rills, and runnels that filter into the green forests, the living lungs of this biosphere. Or is it the broad-bellied ocean that is breathing, sucking these finned nutrients down from the shaded slopes, luring them over rocks and through rapids and hydroelectric dam spillways, drawing them past bustling cities and factories, through intersecting gradients of toxic effluvia that sting their mouths and strafe their exposed membranes, on out into the heaving whirl of the sea's innards, circulating this glimmering nourishment within itself before exhaling it back, a long sighing breath up into the wooded valleys. And so this image of salmon as blood, as air, as breath, in the ocean and into the woods, in and out, circulating, it caused me to understand myself as like salmon moving. I'm a part of what moves through the body of this earth, and to shift from a sense of separateness, which I know intellectually is the lie, right? Separation is the lie. But to read that helped me to re-see myself as part of the body of this planet. And then with my willpower, right? Because Wands here, it's willpower, Leo, fire energy, to make decisions about how to care for this body, to make it healthy for my planet, and to amend some of the pollution that our kind have brought here upon this earth. So that is the perspective shift, that this reading can be about, that kind of level of magic, of seeing suddenly I'm a being that moves through the veins and the lungs and the nerves of this being that is the planet, and instead of other from it. And I can already feel that magic changing me, and liberating me from anxiety and responsibility for things that I actually am powerless to affect, but really grounding me in what I can do, in this Queen of Wands energy that is, what I can manifest, where I can focus my energy and exert my will towards these beautiful ideals that we see laid out here in the story on the table. So if you stuck with me, thank you for that. I hope you loved that reading. I find it very moving. It feels like what I need to hear, and maybe the same is true for you. There's nothing I have more questions about, so we will leave the reading here at that place. And again, do let me know if there's something more else in addition that you would like readings on. I am happy to entertain that, especially if you stayed this long through the reading. It means we're like on the same wavelength here. So I'll see you next time. Have a beautiful day.